The session continues. Although I've already been stacked once earlier in the session with pocket jacks, my game is really good and there is a really good shot at not only getting even in this game, but actually leaving winner. So we carry on. If you remember from the last vlog, the 8 seats VPIP is incredibly high. So in this hand, when I look down at Ace Queen offsuit and open to $30 from the hijack and he calls from the big blind, I'm not surprised. Hell, I would have been disappointed if he hadn't called. King of spades, queen of spades, 3 of diamonds. He checks, and although I flopped a pair, it's still an underpair. I check this back. King of clubs. He checks again. I debate on betting this one because him holding a king is less likely, but it's going to be hard getting 2 streets of value out of my hand. I delay again. Another check. The river brings the 9 of hearts and he checks once more. I toss out $40 in the off chance that maybe he hit that 9 or he has a hand like pocket 8s that wants to just look me up. I'm not sure what he has, but he calls. I show and his hand hits the muck, so small win for me. And I need all the wins I can get.
That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Okay. The conversation? Yeah. The telephone? What's this? What they're talking about? The telephone pole, man.
They don't know that reference. There's no way that knows. I'm the only person at the table that knows that reference.
Every night, Mitch. I ain't playing with you.
On the telephone?
What this boy talking about on the telephone, man?
Explain it
What
to
the hell?
him.
Goddamn, we know there's a telephone, boy. What the hell they gonna do it?
It wasn't on for most of the night, but in this particular hand, the 8 seat has put on the $20 straddle. I opened the action from the cutoff with $50, and of course, well, you know. We both head to the flop. You see the flop? You probably see numbers and shapes. I just see the shapes. Diamonds. I have 2 of those in my hand. That makes 4. And thus I need 1 more for a flush. He checks. I bet $30. He calls. The turn isn't the shape I was looking for, and it's not a letter that matches one of the 2 in my hand. He checks. I check. The river, well, that's the shape. He checks again, and I bet large now, $130. He thinks for about 3 seconds, flashes me the ace of that shape, and a jack with a heart shape on it, and tosses his hand into the muck. If there was any constant in this game, it was knowing that the 8 seat was going to be in all the pots. All you had to do was pick up a hand and you'd get paid. So imagine my elation when he limps into this one and I look down at pocket aces on the small blind. I make it $60 and you already know what he does. The elation comes to an abrupt end on the 9-8-4 monotone board. Especially since I don't even have a club. Man, I really can't catch a break. I bet $50 into this pot with plans on treading very carefully on future streets. But there are no future streets, and I win the minimum here. About 15 minutes after doing the least with aces, I open an early position with king queen of clubs to $30 and the small blind calls. Go ahead and guess who the small blind is. Heads up, we see Jack 10-6 with 2 hearts. No king, no queen, not even a damn club. But at least we have 2 overs and a straight draw. A straight draw with dirty outs, but you gotta find the silver lining. He checks and I check it back. Turn deuce of clubs. Oh, so there are clubs in the deck. That's not going to help now though. 2 more checks. River 9 of hearts. Wow, we actually made a hand. We made a straight. After both his flop and turn checks, I don't put him on much of a hand. He's probably not holding a jack or a 10. However, now he leads out for $80. A pot-sized bet. I don't expect players to really know the ins and outs of bet size construction. I'd gather that most don't, but his bet is still pretty big for the size of this pot. The question now is he overvaluing his hand? Did he river 2 pair or a smaller straight that he thinks is good? I decide that there is a chance that that could be the case and put in a raise to $200, targeting those hands. He thinks about this for a second and decides to bet 3-bet to $700.
700.
This, my friends, is a flush. I can't beat a flush. Fold.
How big was it?
Straight?
You didn't have a straight. I had a straight. You didn't have a straight. Yeah.
Frustrating session, but we fight on. About 30 minutes later, we open from the hijack with ace-jack offsuit, and again, well, you already know. Let's head to the flop. Queen 10-4 rainbow. He checks from the big blind, and I check it back. Turn 7 of diamonds. He checks again, and again, I have no real reason to bet. Check, check. King of clubs.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Now I have a reason to bet. Another rivered straight. He chooses to lead for $40, and again, I put in a river raise. This time to $150. His behavior in this hand is what I wanted his behavior to be in the previous one. He calls. I show my straight, and his hand hits the muck. Lose 1, win 1.
No sweat. It's all so easy. Got news for ya. Got moves for ya. Got energy like chemistry so seamlessly. It's a showstopper. It's a jaw dropper. Well, there's nothing like it. You can't deny it. It's so exciting. It's simple how we do it. Start the party, join the music. Yeah. So step back, watch us prove it. Oh, the world is gonna lose it. Yeah. We like it easy. We like it easy, breezy, easy. So make you dream it. Silky smooth as
In this next hand, the 8-seat, while enjoying a meal, decides to limp in under the gun. At this point, I'm fully committed to getting into as many pots with this guy as I can, and finding King 7 of spades in the cutoff, I raise to $40. The cold call from the big blind is a little surprising, and the meal the 8-seat is enjoying must not be too tasty, because he elects to continue rather than focusing on further nourishment. 3 ways to a flop of 8, 4, 6 with 2 spades, which in theory favors the defending ranges of them as an enemy unit over my opening cutoff range. They both check, and although having the second nut flush draw plus gut shot straight draw is great, betting here and getting check raised could get really dicey 200 big blinds deep. I check this back. The turn 3 of diamonds should be a brick, but now the big blind probes for $80 and gets called by the 8-seat. I'm still holding a world of draws, so I make the call. My mind dances with images of a spade or a 5 or hell, even a king. Just give me anything I can work with. The river jack of spades will do nicely. The big blind checks, and the 8-seat has now switched his focus back to his nourishment. I almost certainly now have the best hand, which is great, and if I'm lucky, one of them has rivered a smaller flush or 2 pair and has now gone into check call mode. I bet $260, which should be about 2/3 pot, hoping to get called, obviously. The big blind groans, peeks back at his cards before they hit the muck, quickly to be followed by our now nourished 8-seat.
Oh my God! Wow!
So we're back out here at the Bellagio. Time for another mid-session update, and I wish I had better news for me and for you too, I guess. Since the last mid-session update, which was hours ago at this point, nothing's happened. I win a pot, and then I lose a pot. I'm still in the game for $3 grand, and I think I have maybe 1,800 in front of me. You can just get nothing going. But we will fight the good fight. Let's get back in there. My card distribution this session was A+. I wasn't suffering from having no pre-flop starting hands. I was definitely card live. Here, the under the gun player opens to $30, and we look down at another premium, an ace-queen suited, and 3-bet to $100 from the low jack. The hijack calls, the 8-seat calls in the big blind, and the under the gun player comes along as well. 4 ways. 8-6-5 with 1 club. 4 ways. Could this flop be any worse? I mean, really? I guess if there was no club, that would make it worse. As it is, we have a shimmer of hope. The flop favors everyone but me. However, it gets checked around. The turn pairs the 6 and brings the second club, meaning there's a small light emerging at the end of this tunnel. Big blind, under the gun, and myself all check again, and the hijack bet's really small, $70 into this $400 pot. The big blind folds, but the under the gun player and myself come along. The 10 of clubs hits the river, giving me the nut flush.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The under the gun player checks, and without the betting lead, I do the same with hopes of the hijack continuing what he began on the turn. He doesn't. He checks it back, which undoubtedly means I have the best hand. A little frustrating not to get that extra river value, but I'll take just pulling in the pot. After having apparently a decent session, which included stacking me, and now fully nourished, the 8-seat leaves the game.
It's all so easy. So easy. No sweat. Got mad magic. Got raw talent. Got all of this. We never miss. It's so obvious. It's simple how we do it. Start the party, join the music. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So step back, watch us prove it. Oh, the world is gonna lose it. Yeah, yeah. We like it easy, easy, easy. We like it easy, breezy, easy. So make you dream it, dream it, dream it. Silky smooth, there's really nothing to it. It's all so easy.
At this point, I'm 10 or 11 hours into the session and just can't get it going. I'm hungry, tired, and my brain is misfiring. The low jack opens to $30 to begin this one, and I 3-bet misclick. I mean to make it $90, but I make it $70, which is too small. Glaringly too small. The button calls and the low jack shoots me a very warranted confusing glance and comes along as well. As far as flops go, Queen 8-4 with a heart isn't bad. When the low jack checks it over to me, I could stab at this one, but elect to check, as does the button. The ace of hearts turn, though, is just too good. When the low jack checks again, I have to fire.
Oh, why that card? Go ahead on the flop.
Your head on the turn, Ben.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Lion-hearted.
The entire purpose of this session was to capture vlog footage. Luckily, or unluckily for me, depending on how you want to look at it, after 12 hours, my camera ran out of space to record anything else. I maybe played for another 20 minutes and then packed it up to head home. Okay, it's 4:30 in the morning. I just played an 11-hour session in which I got nothing going at all. I could get stacked. That I did. Got stacked with jacks early, rebought, and nothing. I'd win a pot, I'd lose a pot, I'd get nothing going on at all. The table was great, and my hands were garbage. So we're going to try to salvage something out of this footage, which is just mostly me folding hands. And we're going to go upstairs, we're going to go to sleep, and we're going to do the whole damn thing again tomorrow. So let's hope it goes better tomorrow, today. But until then, if you like the vlogs, leave me a comment. I'll probably respond. And subscribe. And I'm frustrated. And that's just how it is. But look, I'm down a buy-in and some change. It's not the end of the world. Right? Sorry to disappoint you, but I didn't mess up that many times this time. Not that many. Near perfect.
Listen to me. What they're talking about? The telephone pole, man.
They don't know that reference. There's no way that I'm the only person at the table that knows that reference.
He ain't even got his license, Lisa.
Weird science.
Yeah. She's in the Bellagio casino.
You ever have a football team again?
Have they ever had one?
No, will they ever have?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, when I was around, it was like, the Tommy Frazier, Tom Osborne years.
Frazier was amazing.
Yeah.
Sadly, didn't he get hurt in the pros?
Yeah, he had they found like a blood clot or something in his calf or something like that.